Facebook Live. We're going to be talking B2B social media marketing with our fabulous VP of Marketing, Sarah Oberst. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
So before we get into answering all of your questions, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you that RSVP to us this week, thank you so much, and we're happy to have you here. In the description of our event and on today's Facebook Live, you can see a little link. It's for a free demo of Manta. This is an exclusive to all of our social followers and the people watching our video today. To keep getting updates on when Manta goes live, make sure that you like Manta, or there's a like button just down below so you can keep getting notifications. So we're gonna start, we've got some questions that we've had from a previous social media webinar that we did. So we're really gonna jump into those. There's some specific questions to your business industry, so we're gonna talk about those. And we are really relying on you guys though. We want to hear your questions. We had a question about what to do if you're a graphene company. How do you market your business B2B on social media? So great questions like those. Keep them coming. We will get to them today. If we can't, you can get that free demo and ask your marketing pro how to do these kinds of things for yourself, or how they can help you do those kinds of things. So let's get started with some of our very first questions. Sarah, you ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, can B2B small businesses benefit from social media marketing? A lot of times we think of it as more retail, but how can the B2B really make a splash in this space?
Well, I actually think that B2B is a fantastic sort of vertical to focus on social media marketing. A lot of my career has been spent serving B2B companies of various types and sizes, and I always had social media and content marketing as a cornerstone of our strategy. So I think, as with all marketing, no matter what vertical or industry you're in, or who your customers are, whether it's B2B or direct to consumer, B2C, you need a good mix of marketing, and you should find a smart strategy for incorporating social media, because I think we all know that it is an excellent communication vehicle. It's a great way to remind existing customers that you're there for them, that you're a trusted expert that's always there solving a problem for them, or sort of getting out in front of the next problem that you are helping to make them aware of and then provide a solution to. And it's also a really excellent place to find new customers and facilitate referrals.
There you go. Okay, I hope we get more into that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a million social media platforms out there. You've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. Where should B2B focus their attention?
Well, I think that you need to take a minute and think about your audience. So ask yourself, where is your audience? What makes sense in terms of reaching them at the right moment when they're ready to hear from you? So I would sort of start with a little exercise with my small business owners to just try to put yourself into your audience or your customer's shoes. Think about how you use social media for your business. Think about how your maybe competitors or companies that you regularly partner with that you think do a nice job communicating on social media. Where are they? What are they doing? What types of content are they putting out there, and how often? I think there are some really obvious choices here in terms of B2B. I'm definitely going to lean more towards LinkedIn and even Facebook to some extent. Depending on the type of company you are, probably to a lesser extent like an Instagram or a Snapchat. And then for my professional service provider, small business owners, financial services, accountants, CPAs, attorneys, I think Twitter can be a really great thing to add to the mix in terms of starting to position yourself as a thought leader.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so say we figured out that LinkedIn is our best option. Now, what are we posting? Like, what do we say? When that little, cursor is going, what do we say to our B2B audience?
Yeah, so that's the tough one. Unfortunately, social media for business is work. It takes some work. It takes some planning. I think a really great place to start is to sit down and think about a seasonal calendar, or even just to get you started on the right foot and get your juices flowing, a holiday calendar. So what are some important dates in your line of work, some moments during the year or seasons of the year when things are happening and you have an opportunity to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
So, if you're a commercial contractor, you're talking to facilities management people or commercial property owners or real estate agents or brokers. So I think a great time to sort of talk with them is, seasonally. So if you're looking at opportunities to do some work or some freshening up for them, get some of those projects.
Yeah.
Think about the seasons of the year when they either have high turnover in their tenants, so you would be coming in to do punch out work or updates to the facilities, or if you're a landscaper, commercial landscaper, obviously the seasons of the year when you would be coming out to freshen things up. Attorneys, B2B attorneys, have a lot of opportunities throughout the year to have discussions about employment law, EEOC issues. Obviously, with financial advisors, CPAs, you can hit them hard at tax season, hopefully before, so it's not too late. So I think, just sit down with a calendar, even a physical. I used to use one of those big desk calendars, which I know is crazy, super lo-fi, but it was a great way to sort of get your head around the entire year and then each month of the year and start making notes about when you can start the conversation. And maybe it's a matter of getting out in front of, like we were saying, tax season, start that conversation a couple of months out so that those customers or potential customers have time to call you in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So start a conversation by reminding them that it's never too late or too early, I guess, to get in touch with you to start preparing these documents.
Those are great suggestions. Just before we get to the next question, I want to remind everybody, you can send in your questions. Just write it down in the comments below, and we're going to answer them for you right now live. Okay, so next question is, a lot of small business owners do a lot of offline marketing, radio, print ads, events, things like that. How can they bring social media into that to really help promote those things?
Well, so I always thought a great way to sort of close the loop on all of your marketing, sort of bringing everything together into one cohesive approach and one cohesive message, especially professional service providers, but I think pretty much all B2B industries have opportunities to attend in-person events where they can meet potential customers or mingle and talk with or discuss trending topics with existing customers. So when you're at those events and before and after those events, I think it's important to make sure that you're connecting with those people on LinkedIn. Make that moment last a little longer, after you've had an opportunity to talk with them and introduce yourself and how you can solve problems. Again, I think B2B, you need to leverage in your marketing always being a problem solver. So you have that in-person moment. I think those are powerful moments. I think they're critical to B2B small business owners. But make sure that you're connecting with those people. And then what you can do, and this has always been a great tactic for me, is you can actually download your LinkedIn connections into a CSV file, which you can then upload into most of your email service providers, email platforms. So like MailChimp, you can do that. Constant Contact, you can do that. So you're making these connections with these people. You're taking the information, the contact information for these connections. you're uploading it into an email program that's going to allow you so easily drag and drop. You don't have to be a designer to do any of this. And I think we have a lot of great content on email marketing. You can create this email campaign for them and shoot out this email. Hey, it was great meeting you at such and such association event. Really interesting conversations, really interesting topics. I actually would love to continue the conversation with you. If you wouldn't mind. I'm starting to set up some meetings with some potential clients or existing customers to just take a look at the year ahead and how I can get it out in front of these problems for you. When would be a good time to get together? So you can either use an email program like that, or if it's a smaller list of people, less than 50, send a personal email.
Yeah, personalization works.
Send a personal email and just invite them to deepen that relationship.
Yeah.
So that for me has always been a really great way to sort of close the circle between in-person, online, email, and then all the way back full circle to in-person when they hire you.
Yeah, that too. Right. I love how specific you're getting. So we've got a really specific question for you now.
Okay.
All right. So we have a question from Facebook. What about grocery delivery services? Is social media the best place to advertise services? So let's come up with some really good ideas for this.
So grocery delivery services, I don't know if we're still talking about B2B here. That sounds more of a B2C.
Well, we have our grocery
industry
delivery service that
that's
comes
right.
to our office.
That's
so
true.
She delivers her snacks to our office. She's
That's
really
true.
awesome. We even make requests.
Yeah, we have. Boy, do we ever. Your good point. I absolutely think social media is a great way to connect there. And I think, again, LinkedIn for if you're looking for business clients, definitely going through and creating maybe some targets. So what are some companies, in your area or in the regions where your business functions that have large groups of employees in a single location or multiple locations that are targets for you that you want to try to start a conversation with. Go ahead and start following the decision makers at those organizations and then send that personal email or send them an in-mail. Go ahead and upgrade to LinkedIn Professional or Premium rather. I can't recommend that enough if you're going to make LinkedIn a cornerstone of your B2B social marketing.
Yeah.
But I think too, Facebook is probably a great platform for that. And maybe even Instagram. So this is one where I'm going to go a little bit off script because I think a company like grocery delivery, and I even want to say this too for like landscapers, commercial contractors, even commercial cleaning companies, you have an opportunity to do a lot with show, don't tell. Show me what you're going to fix for me.
Yeah.
Show me what you're going to do for me. Don't just tell me.
Highly visual.
Highly visual. So even if you're not regularly using something like Instagram, you need to make sure that you're taking that camera out of your pocket, right? We all carry really high quality cameras around in our pocket now because it's our smartphone.
Yes.
And you need to take before and after pictures, pictures of happy customers, pictures of you at community events being involved, giving back. All of these moments are opportunities for you to deepen those relationships.
Yeah.
And contribute even more personalization, which is a key differentiator for all small businesses. People use small businesses because there's a level of personalization to that relationship and that service.
Right.
Those images give you an opportunity to showcase that.
Yes.
So even if you're not using Instagram, get those images, use them in Facebook, use them in LinkedIn, use them in your email marketing. But I think a grocery delivery service, the faces of your happy customers when they're receiving all their amazing snacks for the week.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of happy faces here when we get our delivery. That's a great image.
Yeah. Well, and maybe not apples to apples exactly, but Twitter has been a really great resource for food trucks. So a way for you to get new business in the same area that you're already doing is do it like the food trucks do. They let a business know, hey, we're coming to your parking lot, and you can tag that geolocation so that everybody else that's in that area can see that tweet, and another business in that area will be like, "Ooh, we love that food truck," or "Oh, we want your grocery service. The business next door is getting it. Wouldn't it be really easy for us to get that too?"
Right.
And it's almost like a recommendation that somebody else nearby is already using your service.
Look at the beautiful landscaping that the people in the office building next door to you are enjoying.
Yep.
When your employees benefit from something like that.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so we actually have another question. Real quick side note, if your video is not loading, I really can't help you talking to you on live because you're not seeing it, sorry. We will keep trying to respond to the comments in the comment section though. Okay, so Leah Olson says, can you geotag without being in the exact location? Absolutely you can. You can tag in Twitter where you want that tweet to be seen, even if you're not there. So, so that's a big yes. And then,
well, and with Facebook promoted posts, you can select a specific.
Yes.
I mean, there's all kinds of amazing targets,
Yes.
tools that you can use, both for Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads,
and promoted posts
on Facebook. So it goes way beyond geo-targeting on those platforms, all the way to the title of the person in terms of LinkedIn ads that you're trying to reach.
Yeah, same on Facebook.
And so on.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so we've got another question. It seems like non-fans can more easily find my content on Twitter and Instagram. Is there a good way, other than paid boosts, to get LinkedIn or Facebook posts in front of more people who aren't already connected to the page?
Other than paid. That's tricky.
That's tricky. So we've been doing a lot more pay to play lately on Facebook. What are some of the tricks that maybe we can get around that a little bit?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd probably start by saying that Facebook and LinkedIn, honestly, both, are really affordable. I mean, I think in terms of the entire marketing and advertising spectrum that's available to businesses big and small, social media platforms are the easiest to control. They have the most finite targeting parameters, so you really only spend to get in front of the people that you're trying to reach. And I think in general budgets can be as low as $50 a week, $100 a week, and you can look and see how the progress, how things are working for you, and increase and move budget dollars around very quickly based on performance. So having said that, I think hashtags would be a really good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Those are bigger conversations that are happening outside just your group of followers. So that's a chance, I think, to get into those conversations.
Yeah.
You want to be very careful, though, if you're entering into an existing conversation that's happening with the use of hashtags, that you're not jumping right in and being too promotional.
Right.
That's really just going to
be a turnoff.
It's going to alienate people. So just be careful that you're walking into that conversation as a problem solver.
Right.
So I just keep coming back to that because I think a great mix of content and social media for B2B businesses, really for me, is all about positioning yourself as a thought leader and a problem solver. So you should have that as your mantra in terms of every interaction.
And another thing to jump on, you've already said hashtags, but Twitter chats is another way to really insert yourself as the thought leader in that space too, if you're answering ongoing Twitter chats that are going on. So a lot of those are scheduled once a week or once a month. So just research those. Hashtagify Me actually has really good recommendations. So you can find ones that are within your industry. So, legal, look for, Hashtagify Me legal business chats. So
well, and then so there's always Facebook and LinkedIn groups as well.
Yeah, join a group. And you can actually create your own group too on LinkedIn, and that way you can get more followers for people that are searching for those specific keywords.
Yeah. So definitely look for LinkedIn groups. If you're new to that, I would look for LinkedIn groups that are either within your professional verticals, or the ones of your customers.
Yeah.
And just sit back and absorb for a minute and kind of watch the conversations and the questions and the interactions that are happening there.
Yeah.
Then find your moment to contribute, and then maybe sort of allow yourself to acclimate to those kinds of groups and conversations and what the expectations are. And then if you wanted to, you could, be really proactive and start your own group.
Okay, so we've got a really specific to Sarah question. I know you'll knock this one out of the park.
Okay.
How do I use LinkedIn for B2B marketing when you don't already have direct connections?
Well, I think starting with the LinkedIn groups. So what groups are your customers already engaging in? Join those groups. Look for professional associations, so if you're a commercial builder and, the majority of your customers are commercial realtors, there's probably dozens upon dozens of commercial realtor groups on LinkedIn just in your area, not to mention nationwide.
Right.
So I would start there and start inviting people to connect one-on-one. So start a conversation with them in LinkedIn groups. And then during that conversation say, hey, I'm going to shoot you an invite to connect directly. I think we have a lot more we can talk about. The other thing I would do is figure out what those professional association events are in your area and take this old school.
Yeah.
Go to those events, connect with the people at the events. Better yet, offer to speak or present at the events and get the whole list of everyone who attended the event.
Yeah.
And connect with them after as a follow-up.
Chamber of Commerce is always looking for people to speak. Absolutely. Reach out to your local Chamber of Commerce, get involved with those events, connect with those people who you've met offline, online, and continue the conversation. Great advice. Okay, so let's brainstorm again. We have another really specific to an industry question.
Okay.
How do I use small business for my CPR classes for businesses? So I'm assuming you want to go to a business and give a CPR class to all the employees. So how would they use social media to market themselves?
Well, again, I think professional groups on LinkedIn, professional associations,
She's just going to keep saying it. You might as well just go do it.
I mean, these are really sort of tried and true, evergreen, foundational strategies.
Yeah.
If you want to, dig a little deeper, sit down and think about who your targets are.
Yeah.
So if you're in a specific city, you know what some of the larger companies who have a large number of employees are in your area. Make a list of those companies and start sending invitations to connect on LinkedIn to their administrators, their office managers, their human resources people. Those are the people who are going to be organizing classes like that for the employees. So make those connections and send them an email, a LinkedIn, one-to-one message about a special. Groups that get 25 employees or more get 25% off my regular rates. So if you can get sessions with 25 or more of your employees signed up to learn CPR, I'm going to give you 25% off my normal rates. Do some things like that to inspire action, and even time peg it. So say if you can get 25 of your employees to sign up for my CPR class, I'll give you 25% off for the month of December.
There you go. And we did a Facebook event today, guys. You're all watching this live right now, so clearly Facebook events work as well. In the same manner that it's time pegged. You can have an open event possibly, depending on how your business structure works. If you're able to host those and using Facebook events to promote that to local area businesses. If you already have a place that you're holding your event at, you can invite them to come to your space versus waiting to be invited. And if you can maybe hold a demo, say, hey, we're going to hold a quick session for everybody in the, Westerville North area, okay? and Uptown Westerville businesses can come to this for free, and then, you know, when they attend the event, then you can really follow up with them from there. So, but being able to promote that online, again, using that geolocation, using those demographics of business owner or event planner, things like that at those businesses to really get at the right people.
Yeah, and getting a collection of small business owners together, again, you really can't beat reaching out to the chambers of commerce, as well as, again, industry association groups. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they have access to large lists of highly engaged small business members, and they're always looking for new things to offer them.
We are getting a ton of questions in, guys. Thanks so much. We're trying to get to all
exciting.
of you right
Thank
now. Okay, so, I know you're gonna like answering this question.
Okay.
What would you suggest for dealing with highly skilled businesses in B2B, like law firms?
Okay, so law firms have a little special place in my heart because I've spent a lot of my career working with both B2B law firms as well as B2C. And I can tell you that business-to-business law firms, so employment law, you know, mergers and acquisitions, you know, I mean, there's any number of practice areas, but I can say that there's a lot of options out there in terms of outside counsel. So oftentimes the law can feel apples to apples to some of these corporate clients. So what they're doing is they're selecting their outside counsel based on personality and whether they believe that person to be a practice area expert. And so positioning yourself as a thought leader using blog content, white papers, and then broadcasting that content, the blog posts and the white papers, ebooks, if you want to get a little bit more digital, if you have a particular industry that sees a lot of ebooks, you know, in their day-to-day work, and that's where they get their expert advice and thought leadership. Do some of those. Work with a graphic design company to just make a few templates for you. So it's as simple as cutting and pasting out of your Word document into this template and publishing a PDF.
Yeah.
Or publishing to your blog, which would be even better. And use LinkedIn and even Facebook, but it's going to be mostly LinkedIn and Twitter as a vehicle to broadcast that content. Let your followers know that this new blog article is available to them.
Yeah.
Let them know the law has changed or looks like it's about to change. Let them know how this is going to impact their business or how they do business. And then let them know that you are out in front of it, that you have a game plan, and that you have a solution, and that they need to get in touch.
And you can keep posting those again and again, especially on Twitter. You know, your news feed fills up so fast, so you can continue to post in different ways or repurpose an older one. I mean, even a month out from when you originally published, you can continue to promote these.
That's true. That's a great point. Because, you know, I understand that for busy attorneys who live and die by the billable hour, taking an hour to write a thoughtful blog post is a really difficult thing to do. And the same is true for CPAs and financial advisors. I mean, all of that, you know, our work days are long enough, right? One thing I always recommended was a great mix. And you need to think about in terms of your area of expertise, what makes sense, 30-70 split, 50-50 split, but you can add curated content into your social media content broadcasting strategy. So, you know, just as much as you're writing those thought leadership blog posts, be a curator of content for your clients or potential clients so that they don't have to dig through all of those news resources and sort of practice area resources. You know, typically that's not their job, that specific practice area or your professional area of expertise. So if you're digging through all that information from credible, reliable sources for them, and then sending them this link to the things that they really need to know and their must reads, that's going to be greatly appreciated. And that just sort of keeps you top of mind.
Yeah.
And makes it seem like you're always continuing your education.
Okay, so we have another question. So for a business who wants to use Facebook ads because of the low barrier to entry right there,
it's fantastic.
Really cost effective. How can they really optimize it to work for B2B?
Well, I think the easiest thing is to play around with the targeting and the filters. I think the content that you are broadcasting and the manner in which it's broadcasted, so the imagery that you choose to use, when you can sort of establish a B2B feel, and you're going to be targeting other business owners.
Right. So professional voice, professional tone would help.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, making sure that the imagery is professional, or it's a high quality image that you've gathered yourself, that's meaningful, and that's going to sort of make that person stop in their tracks as they're furiously scrolling through their Facebook feed. So I think it's the tone of the content, along with the targeting and the filters.
Yeah.
And I would also say, give LinkedIn a try. In addition to Facebook, it also has a low barrier of entry.
Yeah.
And I think it has some additional targeting filters available that might even take your precision to the next level in terms of targeting other businesses with your content.
And the other thing with Facebook that you can do that would help amp it up a little bit is test more than one message. If you've got 2, maybe 3 messages that you're testing at the same time so that you can see which one is performing better. Does the image work on this one better? Or does the text work on this one better? Keep your text low.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not trying to fill everything that you could possibly do into this one ad so they know everything about your business right away. Make sure that you're just really focusing on the problem that you would be fixing for that business. Hey, spending too much time on your taxes, leave it to us.
Right.
Things like that, where you're just really getting straight into the point, something clean, professional, and using multiple messages, and keep it running. You don't have to just turn it off after a week. You can, whatever's performing best, you can start to put more dollars towards that.
Well, and Facebook does all that work for you.
Yeah. And
so if you load a number of ads into Facebook Ad Manager, it will serve with a higher frequency and put your budget toward the best performing ad that you have in your set.
Yes.
So you don't have to be, an analytics ninja to sort of identify which of these 3 or 4 ads are working the best. Facebook has an algorithm for that.
Yes.
Among other things. So it's great. And LinkedIn is similar. So it's really difficult to sort of fail with these.
Okay.
They just have so many stop gaps, and LinkedIn and Facebook have spent so much money and time optimizing this experience for small business owners.
Yeah.
In order to sort of make this the go-to. And it's really worked. And I think they've built a platform that's easy to use, easy to understand the performance and the return on your investment, easy to optimize, and you can really see the results.
Yeah. And if your ad's been served more than 500 times, Facebook will give you a relevancy score. So they will tell you, oh, your audience is responding really well to this out of 10, or 2, your audience isn't so much liking this. Maybe you need to
Switch it up.
Yeah. Maybe pull that ad completely and just try again.
Yeah. And just think about, is it the wrong time for the message?
Right.
Is it the wrong message? Is it not clear enough? Was it the image? I think we're all sort of knee deep in social media on both a professional and a personal level, a lot of our day. So what works. Yeah. Because you've been targeted with ads and they've worked on you. So again, going back to earlier in the Q&A, look at other companies, whether they're small businesses or big businesses, either in your industry or in the industry that your target audience represents, and decide who does this well. Yeah. And then stop reinventing the wheel. Just, mirror a lot of what they're doing with those little personalizations, those little things that you can do differently or better.
That sets you apart.
It sets you apart. But, again, I think we all see a lot of this, and we all kind of have this inherent inclination as to what works.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got another really specific question. We are an embroidery shop and want to hit a larger client base. What is the best social media platform to work from?
Okay, so maybe doing embroidery on like corporate shirts.
That's what I was thinking.
Gear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We're just gonna assume that, Shane. Sorry if we're wrong.
So I think for that one, Facebook is probably a great opportunity. Images of the work you've done. Maybe even reaching out to existing clients, asking them for images of their employees and their staff wearing your work.
Or asking them to share it on their own Facebook pages and their own social media.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, I think sitting down and thinking about some of the targets in your area might be a good first step so that you can specifically target those companies and the decision makers at those companies with messages on LinkedIn. But I think with that one, I mean, I might be wrong here, but there might be a lot of opportunities for partnerships. So is there a company that sells a lot of the shirts that you would do the embroidery on, who has a great established social media presence, and how can you become a part of that? So reach out to that partner, that manufacturer, that distributor, that supplier, that your embroidery plus their hat or their polo shirt equals this great product, and ask them if there's an opportunity for you to cooperate and coordinate on some social media marketing. I think that might be a really fantastic way to break into that audience, sort of get ahead of it.
Good luck, Shane, with that. Hopefully that advice works for you. Okay, we have another really interesting story. Okay, so we are a tennis club in East Hampton, New York. We're adding a bowling alley, sports bar, and mini golf on the site. We're currently building, so they're in build mode right now. How do we keep up the hype during this process? And I think this question would be really good for a business that's just opening their first storefront as well, too. So how are we keeping up the hype?
And I think, even professional service providers could do something similar to this, but Facebook Live would be such a fun way to document the process. And keep people up to date.
Yeah, do walkthroughs, do sneak peeks.
Yeah. I would also say, again, going back to that seasonal calendar or that calendar of holidays, depending on your open date or your launch date, I would take a look at the calendar and find out how you can start teasing out some ideas for some events or special offers or promotions, and then give people a ramp up, join us here or join our mailing list. I'm sure you guys have an email mailing list, and an addition to the email mailing list is just as valuable as a share or a like on Facebook. So use Facebook, use Instagram, all these kind of things to get people to join your mailing list for in exchange for a coupon. So our first round of mini golf is going to be $10 off for the first 50 people that add their email list to our mailing list, so we can let you know the minute we open. Or have a pre-open party that's exclusively for your social followers. So the day before it's open to the rest of the public or the rest of the members, maybe you have a little gathering get together with some kind of special goodie for your social media followers. So this is only open to our Facebook followers, so tell your friends to like us while they can. We're having a pre-opening mini golf on us the night before we open to the rest of the public.
I love that idea.
Exclusives.
Can we come?
Yeah. No kidding. That sounds amazing. Exclusives for your Facebook audience, I think, is a key way to sort of reward these people for allowing you into their feed. And the same is always true for email marketing. I think doing a little something just special for them lets them know that you understand that it's a big deal for people to give you access to their inbox, because we all have cluttered inboxes, and that you appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I would sort of maybe think in terms of promotions for something like this, and then reward those social followers when you're open and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I like the idea of promoting your channels too. Like you said, using that for email. You can also do that for, hey, all of our updates are on our Instagram page. Make sure that you follow us there. There's some sneak peeks.
Right.
So things like that, where you're on your Twitter telling them to go to your Instagram, or you're on your Facebook telling them to go to your Instagram, so that they're following you on more than one channel. So that you really get the best opportunity to reach them where they prefer to be. So.
Exactly.
Okay, so somebody's asking if this video will be recorded afterwards. Yes, immediately after we're done being live, it'll be available on our Facebook page. So you'll be able to see it there. And then, we've got a pretty general question. Steve's asking, does Twitter work well for B2B? Let's talk Twitter.
So I think Twitter does work really well for B2B, and to be perfectly honest, it doesn't take much to add it into your mix.
Right. 140 characters isn't that hard.
It's not, and you can really sort of use the same content across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, so you're just sort of catching people where they are in the moment. If you don't get them on Facebook, you can get them later on Twitter, kind of thing. But what I found too, and this was especially true for professional service providers, but also I saw a lot of B2B contractors and landscapers get public relations benefits from Twitter. So a great strategy for Twitter is to get on there and start following local journalists.
Right.
Print, television, find them, follow them.
Yes.
And start interacting with them.
Yeah.
On Twitter. Get yourself out there as a subject matter expert, and the next time they need a quote about an article specific to your area of expertise, they're going to reach out to you, or potentially reach out to you. I've seen that happen dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah, Twitter is a news site.
It is free publicity. Yep. I mean, just imagine how much a quarter-page ad in a local newspaper would cost, and you're getting your business's name
as the thought leader
in that page for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't beat that. So it's definitely worth it.
Okay, so let's see. Looks like we're really getting to the end of our questions, guys. If you didn't get your question answered, or you want to keep asking questions after this video is over, keep commenting. We will try to get to you. Thank you guys so much for attending. Is there anything else you want to add before we get off of here?
I think thank you for your questions, and I hope that I could help. We had some really specific questions.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun that we were able to get to those.
It was. I think, something like this, it's great. I would love to just sit down with each and every one of you and really dig in on a strategy. I just want to reiterate, we do have a free demo with a marketing pro at Manta right now. It's we don't do this very often. So we wanted to make sure that before the new year, we made some of our marketing experts available to small business owners.
Yes.
Exactly, because you all have such unique businesses and marketing challenges. It's really easier just one-on-one to answer some of these more specific and in-depth questions. So I hope that you'll all take 15 minutes to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
They're all, incredibly talented, experienced marketing professionals right here in our Columbus office. So I wouldn't miss that opportunity.
Yeah, and you could get to the free demo from the link in the description here, or on the description of our event today. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Sarah, for being here and answering all of our questions.
Yes.
And we are again on Facebook Live as usual this Friday at 12:30, and we're going to be talking about the best apps for small business. So apps that'll help your business run smoothly.
That's a good one. You can't live without them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on.
That was great. Yeah. Just lift it up and
It's like stuck. Oh my goodness.